What's good, Royal Crowd? It's too loud. We back at on a new YouTube video, you feel me? And today we is watching the funniest CIA agent ever by Madagascar. I ain't gonna lie. I seen him off of TikTok. He did that janitor dirty. He said, this is where he gonna be at. This time, this day and age. Yo threw 48 sons at that man. Please like, comment, subscribe if you like seeing this fugly face talking about random bullshit and the random news going on in this world. You feel me? Yeah. Comment what you want to see next, and we just gonna get straight into it. You feel me? 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Alright, so I'm sure by now we all know who John Kiriakou is, the recently viral CIA whistleblower who kind of looks like that one Turkish dude from the shooting Olympics. Like the guy who just showed up without any special headgear and just got second place. Yeah, him. They look kind of similar, no? Now, for those of you who don't know who this guy is, John Kiriakou was a CIA whistleblower in 2004. He blew the whistle on the CIA's enhanced interrogation tactics, which is basically another way of saying that he snitched on the CIA for torturing people.
He met me at the ABC News studios on DeSale Street in Washington. And I said 3 things in that interview that changed the course of the rest of my life. I said that the CIA was torturing its prisoners. I said that torture was official U.S. government policy. It was not the result of any rogue officer. And I said that the policy had been personally approved by the president himself. And then, as you can imagine, within 24 hours, the CIA files what's called a crimes report against me with the FBI, saying that I had revealed classified information.
He then did
Trump really captured niggas and said, yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what the laws say. What war crimes they talking about. We don't care. Torture that nigga. Oh, really torture him. Put that towel over his head. Pour that water. We not playing no games. This is America. Tripping. What type of torture though? I'm not gonna lie. Nigga rip off my fingernail. I'm done. You know how much that hurt, yo? I'm revealing everything. How do you even train for torture too? Just cause I trained by ripping 3 of my fingernails off, don't mean I'ma stay strong if they rip off 2. No, I'm still pussy. I'm cooked. You heard me? I'm still pussy. I'm giving you all my information, just like that.
3 months in prison, which makes really no sense. Didn't he snitch on them for doing something illegal? Why is he the one being punished? And nowadays, he kind of just goes on to podcasts and shows and shares his experience about him working with the CIA and stuff. And, you know, I am solely convinced that this motherfucker, John Kiriakou, was like a former comedian in his past life. Because there is a reason that he has gone so viral recently. And it's not because of how crazy the stories are that he's telling or how interesting the information is. It's his fucking delivery. This guy is fucking hilarious.
And they start asking you questions. Have you ever committed a violent felony? No. Have you ever used a weapon in a crime? No. Are you financially responsible? Yes. Have you ever shoplifted anything? No. Have you ever taken anything from the office worth more than $20? No.
Have you ever had sex with a man?
What, you gonna fire me if I say yeah? That's it, that's all. I ain't had nothing else to say.
Of like all of his clips, okay? This guy just, you know, drops the most craziest story you've ever heard in your life in the most comedic fashion ever from his point of view, and you're just like, what the fuck? And it's like half the TikToks you see, it's like an out-of-clip story too that relates to something bigger, and you're just like, what the fuck? How does this have to do anything with the CIA?
The ugliest woman I've ever seen in my life. Like, you want to avert your eyes. Like, she came off the side of Notre Dame. She was a stone gargoyle with a giant mole right here with a giant hair coming out of it. That kind of ugly. So I took her to lunch, and she was very nice. And then I thought, I did something kind of gutsy by CIA standards, because it was early on in our relationship. I invited her to go to lunch on a Saturday. Now, as a rule, the people in this country were not allowed to socialize with us privately. It had to be like their whole office, or several of them. And she agreed. And I was like, oh my God, she said yes. And I ran back to the office. I was like, she said yes to a lunch on Saturday alone. And my boss says, okay.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to fuck her.
Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I'm sure that there's a very important reason as to why he's telling this story. But it's just like, how the fuck did we get here? What? This is about the CIA. Why on earth does a CIA operator's boss want him to have sex with the troglodyte? Like, why?
CIA began to torture up as a beta, and they tortured him mercilessly. They were supposed to start off with the least dangerous and least offensive technique, which was called the attention grab, where you grab him by the shirt and give him a shake and say,
answer my questions.
And it gets gradually worse from there. But they didn't do that.
They started with the worst technique, waterboarding.
They strapped him down to a board. His feet were elevated compared to his head. They put some material cloth around his face and in his mouth and then started pouring water on his face. They did this
87 times. He actually drowned at one point. His heart stopped. And then they revived him just so that they could torture him more.
Was Abu Zubaydah the first? Abu Zubaydah was the first. He was the
Now, when it comes to what John Kiriakou would actually do for the CIA, he actually had like one of the coolest jobs on the entire planet. Basically, this guy would go to very dangerous countries like Somalia and Yemen and recruit spies to give him information that helps out the US. And the way he would do it was basically just lying. This guy was literally a professional gaslighter. Basically, he would get assigned a target, okay? A target that the CIA wants him to try and recruit and turn them into a spy. So let's say the target's in Yemen, right? Basically, this guy would fly to Yemen, locate the target, you know, talk to them, introduce themselves, do whatever they do in Yemen, maybe even fuck them, go on a date with them if they're gay. And he basically, you know, just kind of builds a fake friendship with this guy. You know, he hangs out with them more and more, spends more time with him, gets closer, does him favors, lends him money, do whatever he can to get on that guy's good side up until the point where they're literally like best friends. And basically when the time is right, he says, hey, I'm actually a spy for the CIA. I'm trying to recruit you. Would you like to join our side? And I'm pretty sure the guy just gets like arrested if he doesn't agree. So he's kind of just like fucked. And you know, he also likes the dude because he's his friend now. And it's basically what I'm like, his job is to be a fake motherfucker. This guy's a professional two-face. And because of the crazy nature that...
How many niggas you think he crushed? And if it gets down to it, if it results, do you think he be getting... I don't know if I respect him or I'm disgusted. I think it's both. He said anything for this country. I'm willing to do anything for this country. You're crazy. What? Nah.
That kind of job brings, obviously he's gonna have some crazy story times and crazy, you know, shit to say about the CIA. And then you combine that with the fact that he's such a good storyteller, this, that, and the other, obviously he's gonna go super viral. But what I find very interesting about the situation is the fact that right when this guy started blowing up and talking about the CIA was around the same time that the Epstein files got leaked and everyone was talking about it. So obviously that led people to speculate like, hey, maybe this guy is just a fat distraction from the CIA to get our minds off the Epstein files. And you know, at first I thought that too, but this guy's been doing this for a while. He's been hopping on podcasts and shows like months ago, you know? But what I find as the absolute most interesting part about this entire situation is the fact that, like I said before, this guy has the coolest job in the entire world. Okay, he flies to foreign countries, introduces himself to absolute strangers that he's never met before, befriends them, gaslights them, becomes their literal best friend, and then eventually recruits them to become a spy. This guy's entire job and training was about manipulating people, lying to them, and having them believe something for the government's benefit. That is why he has gone so viral. That is why he is so good at storytelling. It was his fucking job. His job was to sell a story. He was selling stories to fucking foreigners who could give the US information about their country. He even said himself that he has the personality that can manipulate people. He said himself that the CIA chose him and recruited him because he has psychopathic tendencies and can fucking manipulate people.
What traits are they looking for?
They're looking for people who have
Whatnot is an app you can download on your smartphone or your tablet where sellers are having live shows 24/7 to bid on all the comics you could ever...
sociopathic tendencies.
So now listen, okay, I'm not about to go on a whole conspiracy theory. I honestly think this guy's just a normal dude. But all I'm saying is, if the CIA did have some elaborate plan to distract him from the Epstein files, this guy would be the perfect man to do it.
What traits are they looking for?
They're looking for people who have sociopathic tendencies, not sociopaths, right? Sociopaths have no conscience. They're unable to feel guilt. You don't want a sociopath because sometimes they can't stop themselves and they will feel utterly remorseless after having killed somebody. And as a result, they blow through the polygraph because they don't have a conscience. People who have sociopathic tendencies do have a conscience, but are also willing to work in these legal and moral and ethical gray areas. And I'll give you an example. In the interview process, I was with like two other guys and a woman, and the instructor is giving us this oral exam. And he said, let's say you are a case officer overseas and you get a cable from headquarters telling you that they need the latest economic data from Indonesia. You then go to meet the Indonesian economic officer and you take him to lunch and you have a great time and you take them to dinner. You have another great time. You introduce the wives. They hit it off. You spend time, go on vacation for the weekend. Your kids are playing together. Everything is going perfectly. But you do this for 6 months. And then you realize this guy's really not recruitable. There's really nothing that he needs from you, and there's no weakness that he has. He's not a drunk. He's not a gambler. He's not an asshole who, has fallen foul of his boss. He's just a guy. But headquarters really needs the data. So what do? And the guy raises his hand. He says, you double down and you do it for another 6 months. Spend more money on the guy. And the woman says, maybe you get the wives more involved. Get the wives to get closer, and then you can work it through the wife. And I'm listening to all this like, what? So I raise my hand. I go, you break into the Indonesian embassy and you steal it. He goes, that's exactly what you do.
Alright, so when it comes to my final thoughts, all in all, I do think that this guy is telling the truth. I think he actually did, work for the CIA.
Nah, video over. Alright, love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. Please, 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 please. And that is it, you feel me? Tune in for a new video, posting every 2 days. Don't forget it. Excuse me.